In this lecture I'm going to show you a really good cool effect called cutout. I've brought in two images that I've got. One I've brought just a cross-hatching sort of background, and I've also brought in a silhouette of a woman. What we're going to do is we're going to make the woman silhouette. We're going to use part of that, and we're going to have it sort of look as if it's sitting above this crotch hatching with a shadow of it underneath, so you can see that it's above the layer. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we need to edit this layer because I've noticed it's got a piece here at the bottom we don't want. So what I'm going to do is simply go, I'm in the layer where that is, so I'm just going to simply cut that out, and not quite worked there for me. So I'm going to try it again, this time without pressing any unwanted buttons. Okay, so I'm going to just clear that. Okay, that's gone. Now I'm going to deselect my selection. Now while we're in this layer, I'm just going to go free transform. I'm not too worried about the I'm not going to press the shift key or anything like that. I'm just going to make that larger so that when I save it, it'll just have it to the original size of the image. It will just get rid of the extra bits around the outside. Now we're going to edit this one, so we're just going to transform this one. I do want to keep in proportion, so I'm going to press down the shift key. I'm going to enlarge that so we've got it nice and big. I don't want it too big there. So, oops, it's a mind of its own, this one. Right, I'm just going to move that across there a bit, and I'm just going to save that. Now what I'm going to do here is I just want part of this image, so once again I'm only working on this layer, so I'm just going to cut this bit because I don't want anything else. So I'm just going to actually select copy, deselect all. I'm just going to remove that layer now, we don't want it anymore. I'm just going to paste what we've got there. Now we don't want this bit here, so I'm just going to rub that out using the rubber tool. It's quite small, so I'm going to use a harder one as well, like that. Just make that a bit bigger, so that's probably a bit too big. Okay, it should be okay. So just click there and just click on this and rub it out. And as you can see, it's exposing the background there. Now we've done that, what I want to do is select all the white. Okay, and then we're just going to go clear on that. Still got a bit of white there, so just get rid of that the same way. In fact, actually there might be a better way to do this, which is this: select the black and then invert selection, which will select everything we don't want, and then we're just going to edit and we're going to clear that. And that gives you a better result. On deselect all. Okay, now we're ready to make our effect. Right, so what we want to do here is I want to make this bigger so that we can use it silhouette. Actually, I've just noticed there's a little bit of white, a little bit of gaps in the image there, so from when we did the cutting. So I'm just going to zoom into that a bit and just want to fill that in black. Probably the easiest way to do that would be, because that's paintbook only works on areas that's transparent. We can't work on that, so we need to use the drawing tool. We've already got the black there. Not worried about if we've got a. So I'm just going to very carefully draw. I've got the circle tool selected, it's the elliptical tool as it's called. I'm just going to, there we are, that's worked beautifully. I'm going to do the same for that, and hopefully if I get that just right I can get rid of that bit there. Lovely. And I think there was a bit, yes, over there, so just going to come to that, and again just. So what I've done is I've just drawn a shape onto the layer just to cover those little bits. See, there's a little tiny bit here as well. Just going to make sure that's covering it. Okay, a little bit careful with this. It's not gonna. There we are. That's took that out. So it's just a little bit of cosmetic work there. All right. So now what I want to do is make this bigger, because I want to have this part. I don't really need this back bit. I want it to come on here and be larger. So I'm going to keep it in proportion by holding my shift key down while I resize it. So if I just make that bigger like that, not too big. Move that way. Perhaps. Okay, I need it maybe a little bit larger. Okay, holding the shift key again. And I think that can work quite well. So just click anywhere outside, click save the changes. Probably want to make this a little bit lighter actually than it is. So just going to maybe use, I'm going to use a paint bucket tool. I'm just going to lighten that. Let's have it say as a light grey, or a little bit lighter than that. Click OK. I'm just going to colour that in there. Yeah, perhaps that's the wrong colour there, so I'm going to choose a different colour to make it interesting. So I'm doing this on the fly, as you can see. So just going to make it a green colour, see what that does. Yes, that seems to be a little bit better there. Okay, so I mean, you know, you can do whatever you want here. You can actually have images here, or have gradients here, shading, or whatever you want to do. Use a filter and so on. Now, all you do now to make this look like it's over the top of this is to use shadow. In fact, yeah, we'll. What we're going to do actually is flip this layer around horizontally like that, because I want it the other way. So simply move that over there. Okay, now all we do now is we simply click on here, we click drop shadow, we just improve the distance that the shadow comes like that. And now as you can see, the shadow sort of is down here a bit, so we can click here this little dial, move that around just so that it fits on there. Just make the size a little bit more. Actually, that's not the size. It's just a little bit less, a little bit more even. You just need to play around with this a little bit to get it to go right. Okay. A little bit of struggle with this. There we are. Just a little bit of fiddling around. And there we go. That's our cutout shape. I mean, you know, you can change the, obviously, whatever you have here, and you can change this shading as well. So, you know, if you go back into the drop shadow and look at the settings, you've got the opacity here. So if you move that up and down, as you can see, it goes dark or light, you know. You don't really want it fully like that, because you want it to look like it's overlaid, otherwise it just looks like a border. Okay, unless that's what you want. You can sort of have it like that if you want, sort of change the opacity to make it look as if it really is, this image here is above the background. So it does create quite a good effect. So just use your imagination on your bit of creativity. You know, think of different images and things that you can have in here. You can even do you can do this, of course, with text. You know, well, I think we've already looked at that. But this really looks good, doesn't it? You could actually reverse this as well if you wanted to. You could actually have this bit as the green, the woman's face here. You could have that as the background. So if you see what I mean, so instead of having this, having a shadow over this, this would be shadowing over the girl's face. So that would look like this is over the top of the face in the background. Okay.